Is that your best game that you've played at Ole Miss Saturday?
I'll agree. Yeah, I'll agree it was.
What led to that? Do you think? I mean, was there just kind of a
I feel like it was the energy, man, of the team, and then what we've been working for this whole time, it finally came to show. You know, the behind the scene works that we do. You know, as in the summer, you know, during spring, it finally got to show, and the world got to see the Rebels. You know, and we still had a lot of negatives too that we had to fix up on Sunday, and we could even play better. So we just want to figure out ways we can play better and keep going with the season.
Was there a point in that game that you were so gassed that you wondered if you were going to be able to get back out there?
Oh yeah, there was a point I was cramping. I was on everything I could, man. I was drinking water, Gatorades, and I was like, I'm just keep going. I'm gonna go till I fall out. You know what I mean? I was like, at this point, it don't matter now. I'm tired. So I'm gonna keep going. So,
Robert, what's allowing you to finish plays so much better than you seem to be doing last year? Just the measurables, the tackles for loss, and such.
Just staying focused, man, because the opportunities I've been there is just, you know, it's just focusing on the actual play and not, you know, let my mind, you know, spaz out. So it's more of like almost like a meditation. I'm really focusing on the moment. I'm not worried about anything else, and I think that helped focus on plays.
Yeah, you seem to be handling double teams differently or better than last year. What's that like?
I just think it's a mindset. I feel like I stepped up. I worked a lot harder. I put on a little more weight. That probably helped too, and just, you know, that energy that we have for each other. You know, that love and that connection that we have. You know, I don't want to let my brother down. So if it's me having to go through double teams, I'll do it.
Is it really just about that? Not wanting to let your brother down, or have you learned different things? Is there technique involved in splitting double teams?
It's both. Of course, you know, throughout spring and summer, I've worked, you know, how to beat double teams, and because we knew it was going to come, and me and my coach, you know, worked a lot on that, and a little bit of both. There's a little bit of both. So,
why is that mindset or focus different for you this year as opposed to maybe last year?
I feel like I have a different role in this team. There's different DNA. And I feel like last year, you know, time is never wrong. And I feel like this is the moment where I needed to be the one to step up and make the energy more felt. You know, because I don't talk a lot. I'm not the guy that, you know, say a speech. I'm more of a guy that'll try and make my presence felt. You know what I mean? So, you know, whether it's to my teammate or my coach, I'm more of an energy person. I know this world is, you know, emitted through energy, so I like working through ways of energy. So I don't like speaking a lot. So it's more of a presence felt thing, and I feel like this is the moment where we can be very good. So
you mentioned you hit that wall against Bama. When was that? When did you kind of start hitting that wall?
What wall?
You mentioned like you were getting really gassed.
Oh my God! I mean, first half they were running so many plays, we weren't prepared for that. I was like, oh my God! I felt the cramps come before, like probably 5 plays before they even came. And I was like, I'm gonna have to get a IV again. But it was like, and so towards the end of the second quarter, I was like, oh my God. There's a time I even asked my coach, you know, let me get a little break. He was like, no, you're gonna have to stomach this one. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. So it was just a battle. I mean, that's one of the best teams in the country. So like, it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? Like, it was very hard. It was a very good football team, very good coaching staff. So it was just good to come out, because if I would have felt like I did how I did after the game when we lost, I would have been a little upset. So
I know you've always been confident in your abilities, but did that game prove something to you? You know, in the biggest game of your career that you showed out, kind of?
Oh yeah, I mean it did, and still just gotta figure out ways where I can elevate my game in any way possible. You know, whether it's hand placements. You know, at a point where you know your expectations for yourself, and you always keep those. So you want to start, you know, looking at the minute things you can do to make yourself better. You know, whether it's off the field, hand placement, you know, getting off the ball. So it's all around effort.
So you guys talk about having a different DNA. You had a letdown toward the end of last year. How do you avoid that now after some of these big wins?
It's the present moment that matters. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to, you know, talk about the past in their life in general, or the future, what the future holds. But I feel like this team is is stuck in the moment because the moment's real beautiful, and people don't like to do that. They're always worried about something else. They keep letting their thoughts act just like the mind does. So I feel like this team right now is focused on the moment. You know, no matter what last year was, 2 years ago, this is a different program. It's hard to think about the old Ole Miss. It's a totally new Ole Miss. So it's fun that we see everybody preaching about the moment of now. You know what I mean? And it's just it's a good outcome. It's a good outcome.
What's the focus been like in practice? I mean, has it been difficult to come down from that high, or is it been pretty focused?
It's not difficult. We're focused, man. We're just ready for the next team because, like we said, everybody thinks it was an upset, but we were expecting that. So it's not like a high that we have to come down from. It's just like we expected that. So now it's on to the next game, and we just have to get hyped just like we did against Bama. Just treat every team like that. If we play how we know how to play, we can do some really good things.
I think Coach Reeves mentioned you played maybe 18 defensive snaps and then like 22 the first 2 weeks of the season, and then you went it up obviously against Alabama.
Yeah.
How many snaps did you play against Alabama, and what's that adjustment like going from 20?
It was like 85, something like that, and it was crazy. I was like, how did I do that? My body was telling me how I did it after the game because I felt awful. Like the bus ride home was awful. I was crunched up, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. But I mean, I feel better now. We had a focused practice, ready for Wednesday's practice. Keep getting some rehab, keep getting my body back, and trying to have better games than I did last week.
You talked about playing at a certain expectation for yourself. What is the expectation for you? What is that for you?
I just feel like I have a lot of intangibles to be a good football player, a very good football player, and I feel like sometimes you have to see a vision in order to work towards it, and I see a different vision for myself, and the upright and the limit I have, and I feel like you have to understand that. Yeah, it's like a mirror. You have to check the mirror. You got to see, am I really like pushing myself to the highest extent I can be, or am I selling myself short? You know, so my expectations, everything I do has to be 100%. And my coach knows that now, and I shouldn't have showed him that because if I do anything under that, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I've seen you go 100%. So, like, it's kind of like I blew my cover. So it's like I just have to set a mental standard in my head of this how I want to be. I have to keep this with everything I do.
As a defense, how do y'all prepare yourselves to be better when you're doing 100 plays a game? And it's not often you see that, you know.
Yeah. It's more, it's just in practice, running to the ball. It's a mental thing also. It's a mental thing also. You just have to figure out ways to get through it because games aren't easy. Like 100, like no matter how in shape you are, 100 snaps will never be easy. So like it's overcoming the mindset and just keep pushing it forward.